We are a lucky country. The Black Caps of the Basin. Team New Zealand on the Hauraki Gulf. The All Blacks at Eden Park. But a week in the dust at Addington.
That takes some beating.
Grab your partners, folks. It's time for the big dance.
A day for us, a race for everyone, and a cup for the taking.
They're racing. The New Zealand Cup begins.
I drive down the road from here, and let me tell you, the second Tuesday in November is a day like no other. An action-packed collision of chaos, colour and fury.
What a thrilling race.
For more than a century, we've witnessed the epic feats of champions. Moments that made us hold our breath.
Terror to love. He's 15 lengths behind the field.
And comebacks that took our breath away.
It is still terror to love. He's going to do it. It is the greatest cup win of all time.
But what a wonderful horse.
The tales of the impossible have been rewritten.
And You'll Star is the first horse in Cup history to break the 4-minute barrier.
Miracles witnessed.
Lazarus has arisen.
That not even divine intervention could stop from striking twice.
Lazarus does it again. Get Nasser on the phone. He is in another orbit.
The Med has hosted queens and kings.
Ambassador for Cup Day, Mr. Shane Warne.
And endured blows along the way. But there's nothing that can stop racing at Addington.
Into the straight they come for the first time, and Vandervoort is the leader.
Our mates from across the pond fancy a visit, and you can hardly blame them. Only this year, they're coming for our cup.
To the top, one of the Australian visitors.
The Aussies may have a race that stops the nation, but we've got a race that can't be stopped.
Over here, folks.
Because it's our day, our race, our cup.
What a thrilling race.
First run in 1904, the New Zealand Trotting Cup, now known as the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. Welcome to our 90-minute preview show of both the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup and the Renwick Farms Dominion, which we'll be taking you through today. We've got reporters out and about, plenty to look forward to. Craig Thompson is with me in the studio. I know it's one of your favourite times of the year, Wales, so welcome to Addington.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt. Great to be here on the 90-minute special. Gee, I'm looking forward to it. Our two greatest staying contests over 3,200 metres on the same card, with Australian interest, not only interest, Matt, but favouritism. Just Believe, $1.30, Swayzee, $2.70. He takes on the Kiwi up-and-comers in Merlin, Don't Stop Dreaming. Just Believe takes on the new kid on the block in Bet and Win. And look at the undercard, Catch a Wave, Marketplace, Duchess Megxit. If you don't like what you're seeing tomorrow afternoon, you're very hard to please, Greg. Matt, really looking forward to the next 90 minutes.
Greg O'Connor, Michael Guerin are in the stables for us. Good afternoon, Greg.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matthew. A little bit eerie it is here. The day before this will be filled with horses, massive fields for a magnificent day. I spoke to John Denton this morning to confirm what he's done with the track, completely resurfaced in May, and 200 tonne of sand and chip to make it absolutely pristine for tomorrow. Speaking with some of the horsemen, they have said to me, Michael Guerin, as I bring you in, they've never felt Addington underfoot feel better. It's like Christmas Eve for us each and every year, the 121st running of this great race.
Afternoon, Gregory. Big hi to everybody watching at home. And most importantly, Greg, there's been a lot of will they, won't they coming and going about this Cup week through all the Australian horses and even some of the locals who aren't here. But in that race tomorrow, the Cup, the defending champion is here. And the Dominion, the Renwick Farm Dominion, moved to Cup Day. The defending champion is here. That's always a good sign because it says I have to beat a Cup winner or a Dominion winner to be the top of the tree myself. I think it's a fascinating day. The Australians add so much to it, and it's a great punting day because I think there's 6 races, Greg, that have favourites or horses we think should win, but there's 6 races we don't know what's going to happen. You boys can unpick that tomorrow, but I think it's really healthy for the punters to have those races rather than a plethora of odds-on shots. I think it's a great day and a great day to bet, Gregory.
Greg and Michael shortly with their thoughts across the day. Let's head out to Rolleston though. The first of our intrepid reporters today is Marc Cookson. He's found his way to the All-Stars base.
Hi to you, Matthew. The Rolleston Training Centre that has produced some absolute superstars of our sport is once again a hive of activity ahead of the 2024 running of the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup and the Renwick Farms Dominion. Well, we're inside 24 hours until the great race day, and there is a lot of work going on, and there's a lot of top horse flesh here ready to do the business tomorrow. And one of them is trained by Barry Purdon and Scott Phelan, Merlin. Superstar 3-year-old, and now in the open class has had an outstanding season and looking to top it off in the IRT New Zealand Cup. It's a pretty busy morning here at the racing stables as Merlin, he's just having a bite to eat, enjoying things here. The work is done, the good hit out on Saturday morning, and he's ready to go. He's going to be one of the top Kiwi contenders looking to keep the cup in this country. But the Aussies, once again, are coming for our cup.
Oh, well, the last 12 months, Cookie, would make it seem like us Aussies are doing it pretty easily, but history, Adam Hamilton, will say it's very different.
Well, it's stacked against us, isn't it, Ryan? Because, well, let's have a look at the Trotting Cup first. Only 2 Aussie-trained winners of the Cup since My Lightning Blue in '87. Arden Rooney 2015, Swayzee, of course, last year. And the history of the Dominion for Aussies, we've had a few place getters over the past 15 years, but not since the Queen, Scotch Notch. 41 years ago has an Aussie-trained trotter won the Dominion.
Well, a little bit later we'll be giving our tips for the race. We've got 3 paces in the Trotting Cup and, of course, the Group 1 Dominion. We've got 4 trotters there as well. Shortly, I'm going to be talking to a man who holds the key to that Group 1 Dominion in Greg Sugars with 2 live chances, most notably, of course, the champion Just Believe.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack. Here's what you can expect on today's show. We have the latest update on Swayzee with trainer Jason Grimson. Scott Phelan and Nathan Purdon tell us about their New Zealand Cup chances. We get to know Franco Marek and his trainer Greg Manson. Greg Sugars and Harry join the show. We get behind the scenes with the Bet and Win team. And the barrier draws for the Velocity and the Ascent. Yes, looking forward to bringing you those barrier draws which have been done, and they will come to you exclusively here on the Box Seat Preview Show at the back end of proceedings today. Looking forward to that. As we are IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup Day out of Addington, weather looks great, as is generally always the case around the Addington Raceway. We're looking at a high of 17 degrees, some fine northeasterlies, becoming fresh for a time in the afternoon and evening, but I'm sure that won't mind the patrons on course. Track fast, as Greg mentioned, 200 tonne of new surface has been relayed onto the track by John and Jeff Denton and the team, and we wish them all the best with their biggest race day tomorrow. The IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup of 2024, here they are. Number 1, representing Southland, the Canterbury Classic winner. Our last start 5th in the Kaikoura Cup, it's Tax McLeod. Number 2, Aroda, a Kiwi bred flying the Aussie flag. Leap to fame wasn't meant to be. Can Aroda do it for Team Dixon? Number 3, Charlie Brown, Mr. Consistent. A big chance to find the pegs early. The stable won with Mainland Banner in 2005. Number 4 is Mo'unga. The Cup dream came alive with a Kaikoura Cup winner. Another great beginner from Barrier 4. Horse 5 for the All-Stars is Don't Stop Dreaming. Can he turn the tables on Merlin from the Flying Stakes? Horse 6, American Me, found form again with his 5th in the Kaikoura Cup. The Ashburton Rep with Jared O'Reilly to drive. Number 7, Better Eclipse. In Team Australia, this year's Auckland Cup winner. Number 10 is Merlin, the Race by Grins winner, the Ashburton Flying Stakes winner. A strong Kiwi hope. Number 12, the big, the strong Franco Marek. Can he defy the odds for Team Manson Morrison? This year's Messenger and Taylor Mile winner
is number 13, Mark Shard. 14, Republican Party, 5th in this race, 2023. He won the Hannon Memorial. Team Kentuckiana, they've gone close before. Number 15, a last-minute inclusion, Swayzee. A dominant winner last year. Can Grimson and Hart pull it off again? Number 16, Beach Ball gets into the field. 3rd last year. We know he's good when he's right. Number 17, Dalton Shard began his prep in style. Work to do from the draw, but stranger things have happened. And rounding out the field, number 18, Ultra Meteor. He's got high speed, he can stay, the draw the biggest test.
It's been one of the most talked about New Zealand Trotting Cups, at least in my time working for Trackside, and this is how the market displays. On the first page, Merlin $6 into $3.20. You have to bear in mind these opening prices when Leap to Fame was in. Don't Stop Dreaming now $4.60 as the third favourite, and we scroll over the page and you will find Swayzee as the favourite. So Merlin $3.20, Don't Stop Dreaming $4.60, and there he is, Swayzee $2.70. Craig, a late addition into the field, and the tab have got plenty of extras for us on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Early crow markets as well for 5 of the races, top 6, top 8 for the big one, the IRT New Zealand Cup. If you so want to play something outside the square bet, like a Republican Party, maybe top 6, something like that, $2.85. But yeah, this is a market that's changed immeasurably over the last week.
Yeah, Merlin $2.25 to win the early crow with Don't Stop Dreaming $4.50. You'll find those on the extras tab. We will have selectors races from IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup Day with the TAB, and they'll be applying the bonus cash.
This is the one I've been waiting for. New Zealand Cup Day is here. This Tuesday, back a horse in race 7 at Addington Harness. And if your runner doesn't win, get up to $25 back in bonus cash. Let's go, let's go. TAB, get your bet on. R18, bet responsibly.
All right, well, let's talk about the start of the race, 3,200 metres. They'll do 2.5 laps. Who do you like? Who do you not like at the start?
Well, it's a key to the race, especially if you've got a horse that's a good beginner that needs a sit in the race. Now, off the front, they start down the back straight, 3,200 metres. Good beginners, Charlie Brown, Mwanga. Normally good beginners. We saw that last week at Kaikoura. Don't Stop Dreaming was okay away at Ashburton, but I think you'll be better for having that standing start. American Me very quick away and out wide to Merlin, who's got the same draw as Ashburton, so I think he's pretty safe and normally away quickly. But if you're a Don't Stop Dreaming or a Merlin, you want to get in front of those horses that are slow, like obviously Tack McLeod, Aroda, and of course Better Eclipse, because you want the tactical advantage, especially over Swayzee, who's coming through from the second row.
Greg, the early crow, well, they've got 800 metres to sort themselves out. Is there something tickling your fancy?
Yeah, Franco Marek for mine, just in the stables here, looking across his name and number already across stall number 2. That's where he's going to be positioned, Matthew. I think from his wide front row draw, Michael, he has shown exceptional early speed. And talking to Greg Manson last night at the Cup Owners function, he said right from the early stage of his career, he had to learn to chase them because he often was in stands where he was off mark. So I think that'll give him a big advantage. Charlie Brown, also a very quick beginner. Most of these horses I'm talking about will be looking to get to the markers first and then waiting for one of the big 3 to come.
Yeah, those early crow markets are a lot of fun because almost certainly they won't be the horses who win most of the races. I think there's 2 races inside this race. One will be, as you said, who can get to the markers. Then the next race starts, which is, do I hand to Don't Stop Dreaming or Merlin? Let's leave Swayzee out of this equation. Do I hand to them? I think the answer for every other horse in the race is yes. Then the other race starts, which is, do Merlin or Don't Stop Dreaming hand to Swayzee? It's a race broken down into 3 parts, equally fascinating, but I think the last question, Greg, is far more important than the first 2.
We'll get into it very shortly with our preview of the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. Here's what you can look forward to coverage-wise tomorrow. We will have Trackside Premier in operation from 3 p.m, Sky Channel 504. That will come to us, as well as Freeview Channel 12 and trackside.co.nz. The team will come to air on Trackside 1 at 11 a.m, 1 hour and 8 minutes prior to the 2-mile trot, which you could almost say is the time-honoured 2-mile trot of Cup Day, and then that'll build us through to the Group 1 Renwick Farms Dominion at 14 minutes after 3, and the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup will be at 14 minutes to 6. We'll be back very shortly here on this box seat special, our preview of the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. Do stay with us. We'll look into the field right after this.
IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup 2023. Strands release. They're off and racing. Swayzee took a flyer off the second row. Republican Party got the start wrong, and Old Town Road galloped away, and he's out the back to the breeze, and here comes Swayzee. He goes up into third on the outside. 159.2 was the lead time in the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. Swayzee the leader. Swayzee still in front. Akuta can't reach him. Then came Beach Ball, but it's Swayzee for the Riverina boys, an Australian hero. Swayzee won the New Zealand Cup by 3 lengths from Akuta.
Leap to fame, light up his name, light it up, leap to fame. Leap to Fame brilliantly wins the Black Safag, downing Swayzee Hector. And Lowry has gone for home. Leap to Fame darted away. The finest 4 legs in Aussie harness racing coming clear.
Leap to Fame holds his rivals and Leap to Fame wins.
Might get to you, Adam, and you give us an update on the superstar Leap to Fame. This is shock news out of the Victoria Cup.
Look, some brighter news than perhaps what we thought initially. So the New Zealand trip is in doubt, but it's not definitively off.
But it's all Leap to Fame, he's back. Look out the shaky Isles, he's on his way.
Breaking news coming out about the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. The defending champion, Swayzee, will now make the late payment of $28,000.
Startled by this breaking news within the past 20-odd minutes or so. Similar to last week, they've just taken a routine blood and obviously wanted to make sure that things were perfect for the travel on Sunday. He said they're even worse, the results, than what they had this time last week. So there was no decision to be made. They had to pull the pin.
Swayzee in front, Cam Hart sitting quietly, Geordie getting up on the inside, but it's Swayzee in front, and Swayzee simply too strong, and the $1 million dream's alive.
Craig, you would have laughed at me if I had have said to you 12 months ago that this is the journey that we've been on in terms of the discussions, one of the most talked about cups in history.
Well, it is, just for obvious reasons that we wanted Leap to Fame to be here. He was coming, he wasn't coming, he was coming, he wasn't coming. We haven't got him here, but we've got Swayzee here, which is the second best version. Obviously, Leap to Fame has been the pin-up boy. Swayzee, last year's Cup winner. Really looking forward to having him here tomorrow, Matt, to defend his title.
The Aussies have kept the reporters on their toes, Greg.
Yeah, certainly, Matthew. Bizarre day, wasn't it, at Kaikoura? A phone going off in the pocket, Jason Grimson asking when that final payment would need to be made, and then checking with Grant Dixon, was the blood test going to be back prior to that? It was intriguing stuff, it really was. It wasn't what we wanted to hear by the end of the week, though, Michael, and I know how gutted Grant and Trista Dixon were, because they know how great a horse they've got and they wanted him here, and unfortunately we might have to wait another 12 months.
We may. When you talk to the trainers day in, day out, when you talk to the great trainers, when you watch Aidan O'Brien or Chris Waller being interviewed, they all say the same things. I'm happy, I've got a happy horse, I've got a healthy horse. It's part of the game. Being sound and being healthy is just as important as being fast, because you can never win a race you're not in Gregory, and that's the case for Leap to Fame here. So for the horses who are here, they are healthy, they are happy, and they are having a crack. Leap to Fame can't win everything, but that's why so many trainers reference it, Greg, because these machines are so tightly honed and tuned that very quickly, as we've seen over the last week, things can go wrong.
Well, Adam Hamilton has swapped his suit for some board shorts and a bucket hat. He's headed to the beach to catch up with Jason Grimson.
Jason, he's here. How's he come through the trip?
Yeah, he's really good. Obviously, he looks really good in his coat. He's really shiny, and I don't think he's lost any weight or anything on the trip. So, yeah, really happy with it.
Any concerns? I mean, it's an almighty task, isn't it? But he's the right sort of horse to do this.
Yeah, he's got the perfect demeanour for it. He travels well and he settles in anywhere he goes. So, yeah, he's definitely no concerns with it.
Just going back a step, what prompted the change? What prompted you to make that late payment?
Obviously, Larry's been under concerns for a while now, and I worked him last Monday and he felt awesome, and I thought I'll have a crack and nominate him and see what happens, and yeah, it's all flourished from there, but yeah, I'm glad to be here.
He was so good 12 months ago. He's had a lot more seasoning since then. Where does he compare to 12 months ago?
He's probably better, I think anyway. He's used to the travelling now and that and the big occasions, so he's probably a better horse, and he's probably going just as good, if not better. His Victoria Cup win was pretty sensational, and I think he's better again since I think he's come on from that.
What do you make of the draw?
Honestly, it's probably the perfect draw. If Larry was in it, it was probably a bad draw, but without Larry in it, he's got time to settle and then he can make a move, or you can drive him cold. He's just as good driven with a sit, but yeah, I'll leave that up to Kev.
The betting markets say that the Barry Purdon and Scott Phelan runner Merlin, and of course Nathan and Mark have got Don't Stop Dreaming. Are they the obvious ones in your mind that are going to be the hardest to beat?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't watched too much racing over here, just because I didn't have a horse in the Cup. But yeah, just them as trainers, that they've been there, done that, so they know what they're doing.
What is it about this horse that separates him from all others that you've trained?
Just you can put him into the race, you can drive him any way you want, and he just loves a long trip. He's a hard horse to stop when you get him rolling, and hopefully he's out in front rolling tomorrow.
And just confidence level, say, compared to last year, you were confident last year. Can you have that confidence, or more or less, 12 months later?
It's a bit hard when you travel 2 days before the race, but yeah. Just looking at him this morning, it's the first time I've seen him since you travelled here. He looks awesome, so that gives me a lot of confidence.
Well, there he is, winning last year's New Zealand Trotting Cup, Swayzee, and he is the defending champion, of course. Greg O'Connor, we will come to you, and Michael, I know that Jason said there that if they have to, they'll drive him with a sit, but I honestly couldn't see it happening.
Haven't seen it happen in a big race yet, Matthew, and I was just talking to Michael about that. They'll be going forward. They'll be looking to run those 28-second quarters for probably the last 4 quarters. When he moves, like last year, Michael, he moved nice and early on the back of one change, got the lead about the 1,800-metre mark, and he was simply too strong. His record this season has been terrific. He's only been beaten effectively by Leap to Fame, and his run at Young the other night was what you'd expect. His run in the Victoria Cup was next level.
I think if you take Leap to Fame out of his form line, he wins all the time, but I also think the horses behind him in Leap to Fame aren't very good. They're good, but they're not as good as Merlin or Don't Stop Dreaming. The question is this year, because last year he got in front of a Cooter, and it was a 2-horse race, and once he got in front of a Cooter, he was going to win. So this is what he does when he's in front. He just rolls away from them when he's too good. But this year, he's going to need, I think, more luck and more time to get to a Merlin or a Don't Stop Dreaming, who have both been very good from standing starts, are drawn in front of him, and I think have the respect to get to the marker pegs. Then the question is, do they hand up? And there could be, Gregory, a little bit of pride of Jenny about this. Those boys, Blair Orange and Zachary Butcher, might think, no, I've had enough of this. If you keep handing up to this horse and letting it run to the front, it'll get its own way, and it'll just win, and we can't beat it. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those two, I think one of them will be in front, Don't Stop Dreaming or Merlin. I wouldn't be surprised that if Swayzee's not there by the mile, they say no lead for you. If he has to sit parked, I'll be stunned if he defends his title.
While your assessment of him versus last year, where's he at?
Well, I think he's in similar form, and I think that the two Kiwis stand up, obviously Merlin and Don't Stop Dreaming. I mean, he went 3:56 when he won this race last year, Matt. I think he'll probably have to go a similar time. What's against him this week is he hasn't got his quicker beginners in front of him. He's going to have to work through the field, get round them, and I think Don't Stop Dreaming and Merlin will be at the top end. And both of them, if they sit in the trail and have a cold sit, have both got lethal 800 metres in them. So it's intriguing. Whether you're taking 270, there is a school of thought that he'll move inside that 250 mark, Mac, because the Australian people get involved. But he deserves to be favourite. But I think this field's stronger than last year.
Well, Merlin is one of those horses who is set down to try and hold out the champion Australian. He is in the race for Zachary Butcher, who will drive Barry Purdon and Scott Phelan. Here he is winning the Ashburton Flying Stakes at his most recent start. He beat Don't Stop Dreaming on that particular occasion. He's one of the most gorgeous horses that you will ever see. And Zachary, he's the right man in the bike. Marc Cookson is out at the All-Stars, where Merlin has been calling home.
Thank you, Matt. He's a dual Derby winner, is Merlin, and he's had a fantastic open class season. Scott Phelan, he's behind us here. Is he ready to go?
Yeah, look, he's as ready as he can be. He had a good hit out on Saturday, and you know, Barry's there watching, and you know, we're both wrapped with the work, and he's come through it good. So, yep, no, we're all good to go, and fingers crossed Tuesday.
The preparation, it's been a fantastic preparation. Ashburton was great, and he's a horse that doesn't take a lot of work into him.
No, that's right. Like he's a couple of weeks in between runs, and you can do enough at home with him, and you know, he's pretty right on the day. So let's just hope we're right for tomorrow.
What do you make of the barrier draw?
Oh, look, I was happy with any front row draw, to be honest, as long as it wasn't a back row, and yeah, Zach can't use that as an excuse.
He's a really strong horse, of course. He's going to need to bring that strength, considering what may happen within the first 600 to 800 metres.
Yeah, that's right. Look, it's going to be a strongly run race the whole way. So, you know, he's going to need to be on his game tomorrow, but you know, we're pretty sure he will be.
He was a top 3-year-old. What have you made of his open class season? Because he's really handled the step up with aplomb and as expected.
Yeah, look, he has, but he's got stronger in himself, which has probably helped him, you know, cope with the open class racing. So, yeah, look, he's been good so far. So if we can go one more, I'll be wrapped.
What do you make of the 2 miles? He seems to obviously have the strength and conditioning to handle it. What say you?
Yeah, look, it shouldn't really worry him, to be honest. So, you know, like he's won both derbies and, you know, extra 600. But don't worry, it'll be a strong 600. So, you know, but I'm sure he'll put his best foot forward.
He certainly will. Competition. There's been a changing complexion of some of the competition. Who do you fear in the race?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of chances, you know. It's not just down to one or two. Like, obviously, Swayzee and Don't Stop Dreaming are 2 great chances. And but there's going to be horses, you know, probably off the front that are going to get to the marker pegs early, and, you know, they won't be without a chance.
What would it feel like to win a cup, especially in those famous cup-winning colours?
I'll tell you if we do it.
Fingers crossed they can for Team New Zealand. Greg O'Connor, to you, and Michael, for your assessment of the mighty Merlin.
He's a brilliant racehorse, Matthew, winner of 20 races. He's versatile. He showed this in the Ashburton Flying Stakes by taking the lead and then following the helmet of Don't Stop Dreaming. We know this pair have clashed on numerous occasions. This was another one, and he just sniped him up the passing lane, winning pretty comfortably, although Don't Stop Dreaming was only second up. Merlin has all the attributes of a New Zealand Cup winner. If he gets the right sort of run, absolutely, Michael, he can win it.
I think there's a sense of timing here, Greg. I love backing those big, strong stallions when they're confident and full of themselves, and he looks that way at the moment. Little touch of arrogance about him. Obviously very healthy, good standing start manners. I think they can go forward and find the marker pegs at some stage. He has 2 weapons. He's won derbies sitting in front, so we know he can lead over a distance and win. He's also won races coming from off the speed, the race by Grins, beating Don't Stop Dreaming out of the 1-1. He's the only horse in the race I would have any confidence, I'm not saying I'm confident, but any confidence, Gregory, that if it's sat on the back of a Swayzee, he might be able to get him. And I think there's no better driver in New Zealand, maybe in Australasia, at that specific skill than Zachary Butcher. He's close to my top pick. I think he's the best bet in the race. We'll discuss what way to back him a little bit later.
Whale, how does he win the race?
I think speed will get him home. If I'm backing Merlin, I'm backing him for his speed. I don't see him leading over 3,200 metres for the whole way. I think he's a horse that follows a helmet really well, like he did at Ashburton, and if you cuddle up. He never wins by a big margin, Matt, as you know. Most of his margins are neck, half length, something like that. I mean, he's won 20 from 30. His Ashburton Stakes Flying Mile, brilliant performance, home at 54.8. When he won the Derby, he went 3:08, so I have no doubt he'll get 2 miles. But I do like him when he's following a helmet. It may be a Don't Stop Dreaming, it may be a Swayzee, but if you're backing him for his speed.
And the start, you're fully confident that he's got his head around that?
Spring Cup, Holmes DG, Ashburton Flying Stakes, all good beginnings. And he drew a similar draw in the Ashburton Flying Stakes. I think he was the third one away. He worked to the front firstly. I think if he gets that type of standing start advantage over Don't Stop Dreaming and Swayzee, I think it's his race to lose.
Well, Don't Stop Dreaming and him have both had some incredible battles along the way. Don't Stop Dreaming will line up for Mark and Dennis Dunford, of course, and the Dobson family. He's not very big, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in heart, will to win, and speed as well. You see him on track. He's probably a wee bit smaller than what he makes himself out to be when he's moving. Mark's at the All-Stars and he caught up with the Don't Stop Dreaming team.
Thank you, Matt. Nathan, Don't Stop Dreaming. Last season, top age group horse, and now he's in open class. He's in the big dance, the New Zealand Cup. Are you happy with where the horse is at?
Yeah, more than happy. Mark, he's probably not an ideal prep in some ways, but yeah, being a colt, you know, he's not a typical colt, carries a lot of conditions. So, you know, I think we've got away with it because of that reason.
He's only had the 2 runs this campaign, but they've been solid runs.
Yeah, they have, especially that last run at Ashburton was a hard run on him. So he's bounced out of it really good, and you know, I don't think he's all that far away fitness-wise for sure.
You were going through some options as to what to do, considering what Ashburton would have turned out like, whether going to Kaikoura or the Cup trial. Talk us through the past couple of weeks.
Well, he ended up going just into Addington on the Thursday to train him. Him and the Trotter Oscar worked together and they run up really good. They run up a strong time, and yeah, he came back in, his heart rate was good. So yeah, we stepped his work up a lot in the last couple of weeks, but he responded really well to it.
You must have been pleased when that barrier came out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you could pick any draw, I think that's around about what you'd want to pick.
Are you a bit concerned that he hasn't made a landmark or a victory stamp this calendar year? Only had the 1 win, of course, since moving into the open class ranks. Are you concerned that he hasn't got the record that some of the others in this field have?
No, not at all. No, he's got the class to win the race. So yeah, if he gets his chance to, you know, everything going smoothly, yeah, he's every bit as good as anything in the field.
Well, some great history of your family in this race. What would it feel like to add your name to the dynasty that is the New Zealand Trotting Cup?
Yeah, this is the pinnacle, really, Mark. So you know, to have a horse in it is a big deal, and just soak up the moment more than anything. But yeah, it's something that we dream about. So hopefully, if it's not this year, hopefully one year I can get it done.
Mark and Nathan Purdom will have runners in all 4 Group 1s on Tuesday. This is the race by Grins. Look, to be fair, I think Merlin was probably peaking a wee bit more than Don't Stop Dreaming here, Whale.
Probably. I think he's had a couple of runs back this time in Don't Stop Dreaming, Matt. He's third up. He should be at peak fitness for tomorrow afternoon. And in his first up run, he smashed the clock. He ran the best mile, best 800, best 400, 154, 55, 26.9. He's gone to Ashburton. Probably what cost him at Ashburton was being half a length slower away than Merlin. I think this is his 5th stand on tomorrow afternoon, Matt, and I think he's getting better with each stand. I wouldn't be surprised if he steps a little bit better this week. If he can get in front of Merlin and obviously Swayzee and can get a cheap half or a cheap quarter, and you know what Blair Orange does, he tends to steal one in one of these 2-mile races. He can win this race, absolutely can win this race. He's in your top 3, and with the right run, he's a winning chance.
He gets a lot of ticks, Greg O'Connor.
Yeah, he certainly does. Blair's had 15 previous drives and he's the hot driver for the IRT New Zealand Cup, having won 3 of the last 5. At the function last night, had a good chat to him about what's been happening this week. He said the boss, Marc Cookson, drove him in his final piece of work, Michael, and he just came off with a smile on his face. He said he's absolutely where he needs to be for this race. He's got options from a good barrier. He's very safe away from a stand, and a little bit like Merlin, he's got options too.
In New Zealand Cups, Greg, what we've found over a very long period of time is very few horses show you they can win a New Zealand Cup for the first time on New Zealand Cup Day. There's races that prove you can win a cup. One of the great ones over the decades has been the Messenger. Other races, obviously winning a cup previously, Swayzee's done that. Winning an Auckland Cup shows you can win a New Zealand Cup. Better Eclipse has done that. If you win a race by grins, you can win a New Zealand Cup. 3 horses have won the race by grins. They've all won a New Zealand Cup. This is the difference. Don't Stop Dreaming has never won a race which is considered a stepping stone to the New Zealand Cup. He didn't win the Derbies, he hasn't won an Ashburton Flying Stakes, but I tell you what he did do. One race you probably don't even remember at home. The Hunter Cup, February, earlier this year. Leap to Fame was too good, he won, but Don't Stop Dreaming ran at him. And about the 180 metre mark at Melton, it looked like he was going to run past him. If Leap to Fame's not here, effectively, Don't Stop Dreaming's won a Hunter Cup. That is a lead-up race to the New Zealand Cup. With Marc Cookson happy, and with that thought in the back of my mind, I know he can win the Cup, Greg. I'm just not sure how he's going to try to do it.
It'll be an interesting task for sure. Back to you, gents, very shortly as we're about to take a break here on your New Zealand Cup preview. After this, we will catch up with one of the great stories of this year's Cup. We hear from Franco Marek's trainer, Greg Manson.
Starter just about to ask them to move up to the barrier strand now. Just about set. They're racing, and the 1993 DB Draft New Zealand Cup away, and Giovanetto shot out towards the lead. Blossom Lady is broken up on 10 metres. Smooth Gretton is away well. Tigerish is out well, and so is So Go. Chokin's made a great beginning. It's followed then by Abdias. 2,500 metres to go, and Chokin storming to the lead. Gets around So Go, and Chokin takes over from So Go, and moving up on the outside, Christopher Vance. He turns for home in front. Christopher Vance at Master Musician, and Blossom Lady's trying to cut them down on the outside. It's Chokin, Master Musician, and Blossom Lady and Giovanetto, but Chokin's won the Cup. Tony Herlihy and another of the Purdon team to take out the New Zealand Cup here at Addington Raceway.
Some ride you're on with Frankie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great, Robin. Yeah, no, he's a pretty cool horse.
How did you come to get him?
Oh, it was through Don Jones and his son Norm. When Don was crook, I went out and trained Copperhead Rose, and also Norm sort of take over the horses when Don passed, and got him to the races, and said he was getting interest in him, and took Copperhead Rose out, and we bought him.
Hard to believe, Greg, when you look at him now, that he started in a Sattling Stakes as a 2-year-old, because he's a big boy.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have been there, but head-wise for sure. But yeah, no, he's strengthened up and things a lot over the years. Big horses, I suppose, like you say, it's pretty hard to race early like that. You know, big animals. Funnily enough, the goal was to have a cup horse, and yeah, a horse like him, although he might not be a top tier, he's not real tough, but he's tough enough, and he's got speed. But the manners over the last 3 years that he's just he's a perfect horse.
It's Franco Marek though, big and brave. He's delivered. Franco Marek, number 11, goes 4 in a row.
He won his first race, and I think he won his first 4 on the bounce. You always planned to get to this day, and it's pretty close now.
Oh yeah, I asked, yeah, I asked to change my colours and that for Blair, and had that plan a long way out. Yeah.
Pretty bit decent story around this horse, and you talk about Blair and the Fiddler Club and what Blair went through and his passing, and how you're able to carry on his legacy through your colours and through this horse. it's brought a whole lot of people into the game, hasn't it?
Oh, of course it has, yeah. So many people in Southland, like with the charity hospital that Blair got going, and Missy is, I mean, she's just tremendous. She's got this hospital up and running. You know, the rugby matches where the All Blacks played in, and I had a go with Blair, and you know, a lot of the kids have got these jerseys, and to put his colours on. Yeah, he's a great man, and yeah, I think it helps. Determination, you know.
What about the preparation for the Cup? Because, to be fair, it's been unorthodox.
I've never done it before, Greg. You know, like, it's not about Cup, it's not about the next race, it's about, I mean, sure, you set a goal to be there, but it's about the horse, to have the horse there on the best he can be on that day, and I just don't want them to hurt. I think once a horse hurts and thinks, oh shit, this isn't fun, then it's pretty hard to take them wanting to do it. So I just got that sort of mentality, and I've been allowed to do that with any owners or people I've had involved in the game.
You got your golden ticket. Were you surprised how well he went fresh up?
Oh no. Like I say, we wouldn't go anywhere until we're pretty tight. A lot of advice from people of just doing strong work, and Regan and that just give me horses just to work behind all the time, just strong work. It's amazing how fit he got through the strong work, you know, without actually having to do a lot of fast quarters and things.
You give young John Morrison his second steer in the Cup. You seem to have a great rapport with him.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't start a lot, and I think probably when Johnny was young, I was helping Don with Career Fantasy, and I remember calling in, and he was quite pumped up about Lord Marmaduke and Career Fantasy, and he's turned into a great horseman, and yeah, we have a great rapport. He seems to understand how I train, and he drives them accordingly, and yeah, no, he's a really good reader of a horse once he's had a run or two on him.
For you, Carla, the family, the boys, everyone from Southland who's coming up, it's going to be an incredible experience, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, she's a dream for sure. Just so many people buzzing, and yeah.
Brilliant, just brilliant, and we wish Team Franco Marek all the very best. He's a big brute, but he can certainly show a bit of speed when it matters. That's at the start and at the finish. Our next runner that we are looking at is Better Eclipse, the next of our Australians, this one for Jess Tubbs and Greg Sugars. The Auckland Cup winner, of course. Here he is, beating Home Self Assured this day. Old Town Road, Republican Party also in here. And Greg and Michael will head to you for your assessment of the Victorian.
Yeah, look, he's a brilliant racehorse. He's a Chariots of Fire winner. He's a Sunshine Sprint winner. You saw him winning the Auckland Cup. And don't forget, Michael, Better Eclipse. You talked about Don't Stop Dreaming getting close enough to Leap to Fame. He got close enough to him in the Inter-Dominion final, beating Swayzee.
And one thing we know about him, which we don't know about Swayzee because of the different late travel plans, is he's here and he's happy and he's healthy. He was really good at Kaikoura. I think the problem for Better Eclipse is he can't work mid-race and win this race, not over 2 miles. And then you say, OK, if you're sitting in and you're swooping, this is Kaikoura as we see. He was slowish away and moved and was good, but in a significantly easier field. If he is sitting in and waiting for luck, that probably means running past Swayzee, Merlin and Don't Stop Dreaming, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do. So absolutely he's in the top 4 because, go back a section, he has proven he can win a New Zealand Cup type race in the Auckland Cup. But Greg, I think you want about $20 because he may need to run past 3 horses who are at least as good, maybe better.
Whale?
Well, first of all, he's got to get the stand right because he didn't at Kaikoura. I think he charged the tape there, Matt, and he probably didn't get it right there. But he didn't get it right in the Auckland Cup as well when he drew out wide. So that's the first path he's got to navigate. Get underway, get a slot, get one run at them. The best version of Better Eclipse, obviously, we saw in the Auckland Cup was when he followed a helmet, he got into the race late and he flashed over the top of them. He was the run of the race at Kaikoura. He's a great top 4 chance. I'm not quite sure if he's as good as Swayzee, Merlin or Don't Stop Dreaming.
OK, Republican Party for Team Kentuckiana. Great, and Chrissy Dalgety, they've gone close before on a couple of occasions. Can the Hannon Memorial winner do the business for them? He was fourth in the Ashburton Flying Stakes last time out. Greg, another one who isn't the biggest horse going around, but he's certainly got a big ticker.
He certainly has, yeah. Better Strike, so close for Dexter Dunn, of course. And Chris and me went a couple of cracking races in the Cup. But, yeah, he's so professional, Republican Party. He's, well, he just bubbles under the radar, doesn't he, Michael? He's a former junior free-for-all winner. Obviously, he's won a Hannon now. He's been cruel by the draw, though. He would have taken advantage of a front-row draw. I'm just not sure how he can work his way into this race. He was actually pretty good at Ashburton, I thought.
He was, but he's never shown me he could win a New Zealand Cup. I think one day Carter Dalgety will drive a New Zealand Cup winner. I don't think that day's tomorrow.
Good, we wish them all the best anyway there with Republican Party. We'll go and have a look at the New Zealand Cup market one more time here. Whale, we'll come to you first. Of the others in the race, we're speaking of horses like Mohonga, also Tack McLeod, the other Australian eroder, even going out to horses like Ultimate or Second Row. Is there anything else in here that with the right sort of run could pull out a beach ball from last year, or a Mossdale Ben or an American Me, which were able to run well?
Well, I think the up-and-comers, I think Tack McLeod's got to have at least a runner's top 4, top 5 chance, because I'm worried about barrier 1 for him, because he drew wide in his 2 races where he's been on the speed. He's had good draws out wide. He's drawn barrier 1 here. I thought the other chance is definitely a horse, even like Ultimate, who ran 3rd in the Ashburton Flying Stakes. I know he's drawn outside Second Row, but he's not without a top 4, top 5 chance as well, Matt. I thought Republican Party was very good at Ashburton. I mean, he moved twice in the race. He was round the outside at the 1200 to get parked, and when Rock and Roll Dude dropped off at the 600, he's off and going again. So he worked twice in the Flying Stakes. He's definitely a top 5 chance. Of course, he ran 5th in the race last year.
So early Crow market, top 6, top 8. We've got the middle market. We've got the roughies market as well. You'll find that under the extras tab on tab.co.nz. All right, and one, and I reckon you're going against the Aussie.
I am. I've got great respect for him. I mean, he's been there and done that. He's a Cup winner, but I do like Merlin's preparation, 4th up. I think he's got an ideal preparation. I'll put him on top. Over Swayzee, just got to get through the second row. If he can get in front of the other 2, absolutely go back to back. Don't Stop Dreaming, for the reasons of superstar stable, superstar driver. They'll get him right on the day. And I think of the rest, runner number 7, top 4 for me, would be a first 4 chance and Better Eclipse.
Yeah, there's so many horses off the front in particular. If they can step away, put themselves there, the likes of Moonga and company, certainly a chance of running in 4. Greg, Michael, your picks for the Cup?
I've gone for the defending champion, Matthew. If he brings his Victoria Cup form to Addington Raceway in about 24 hours' time, maybe a little bit longer, 27 hours' time, then he is going to take all sorts of beating again. If he finds the front, that only enhances his chances, and he's got an absolute gun in Cam Hart doing the steering. Merlin's preparation's been perfect. Don't Stop Dreaming has the ability to win the race, and Better Eclipse picks himself in the top 4 with his credentials. Michael, I'm not going outside of the obvious 4, but yeah, I think if Swayzee brings his A game and he gets over the travel, which is still, I know Jason Grimson's saying he's bounced off it, it's still been an arduous task for him, then he's clear top pick.
Look, I think he is the horse to beat if he leads. If he leads. I don't like him if he doesn't lead. And he can't control that. His rivals can control that, and they may not be willing to hand up to him. I'm going Merlin on top because I think he's in the right zone physically. I think the stable, the driver are in the right zone, and he's the one horse in the race I believe can win one of 2 ways. He can win leading, but he can win coming off the back of a horse like Swayzee or a Don't Stop Dreaming. So Merlin on top, Swayzee, Don't Stop Dreaming. We're not recreating the wheel here, Greg. Everybody knows the same type of thing. You'd feel a lot more confident betting with a lap to go, but Merlin can win in front and can win from the trail, and I think he's the only horse in the race who can do both.
Well, what's Marc Cookson got for us?
Matthew, I think Swayzee is going to be pretty hard to beat once again in the IRT New Zealand Cup, looking for back-to-back cups. As for the best of the Kiwi chances, I think Don't Stop Dreaming can run a bit of a cracking race, and I think will be the best of the Kiwi chances. So the light preparation, he's fit, he's ready to go, and I think he's going to surprise and once again put it to Swayzee, as he did earlier in the year in Australia when putting it to Leap to Fame. So for me, I'm going Swayzee over Don't Stop Dreaming. Merlin in for third position. Gee, Merlin, what a fantastic campaign, and is a genuine chance in this year's Cup to try and keep that Cup from the Australians. And in for fourth, well, I think Beach Ball's been on the improve. So Beach Ball for me, top four, was pretty prominent in the race last year. It hasn't been the ideal campaign, but hopefully things are back on track and this horse can surprise once again. But unfortunately, I am going to go for the Australian Swayzee. Hard to beat. If I was having a play in the race, I would have a top four bet on Don't Stop Dreaming in this year's Cup.
We like it, Mark. Beach Ball won the Phantom Call last night as well at the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup function, so he is hoping for the Chapmans he can improve off what's been a bit of a tough campaign thus far. Well, the Australians, Adam and Ryan, are they going to be tipping the Australians or maybe a Kiwi?
Well, let's attempt to put blind patriotism aside and find the first four, Adam, for the New Zealand Trotting Cup. Obviously, we have the favourite in Swayzee, but this is game on this year.
I've agonised over this, and just with the travel he's got, I'm going to go for Merlin on top to beat Swayzee. I've put Better Eclipse. I loved his run. It was a return to form at Kaikoura in for third, and then Don't Stop Dreaming for fourth.
And your suggested bet?
I think the value is around $3.50 for Better Eclipse to run a place.
All right, well, my first four, very similar, and I'm going with Merlin. I just love the way, looking at this horse this morning, that he's bulked up through the neck and shoulder, Adam. He's really become a man. I like what I've seen so far. I have to have him on top, and I agree with you. I just don't like the way that Swayzee's come into his title defence this year, but you have to respect him. I've got him in for second. Don't Stop Dreaming, the other Kiwi in for third, and Better Eclipse in for fourth. As far as my suggested bet, I think Merlin. Let's just go straight out Merlin this year. I think the boy has become a man, and he's the one to beat in this year's New Zealand Trotting Cup.
I can't believe it. Can't believe that both of the Australians have come on our show and tipped out a Kiwi. Unbelievable. Well, I'm going to go the other way and tipped out an Australian. And Swayzee, look, I'm a believer that the travel won't worry him. I'd be more concerned about the travel if he had have done it and then he's racing in another week's time. Often horses, when they travel, will potentially catch something or get sick 3 or 4 days after they land. So they might find him in a sweet spot, Swayzee. Franco Marek, top six. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Franco Marek. So play him top six. You can play, of course, the early crow markets, and you can play top six and top eight. Stay with us here on the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup preview show. More to come right after this.
Take cover when this thing erode. Baby, I'ma have to cool off in a minute. Cause you know I'm too hot when I'm winning. Sauna in the kitchen. Boy, you know I'm cooking with grease. Keep it hot.
Sunday Sun turns for home, leads by a length and a half, back to the inside, Muscle Mountain gives chase, Five Wise Men sticks on, Sunday Sun a half, Muscle Mountain's coming, Sunday Sun, Muscle Mountain goes to in the inside, the two big guns are stride for stride, Muscle Mountain, Sunday Sun comes again, he's done it! Sunday Sun is one of the greatest of all times. His third Dominion and a fantastic racehorse. Second across was Muscle Mountain. That was one of the best finishes you'll ever see.
Darkness, she is all I see.
A great battle. We won't be seeing it this year, though, with Muscle Mountain bypassing the Dominion, heading through to the free-for-all on Friday. Greg, as we come to you, how important has this move to Cup Day been for the Dominion?
Oh, it was a significant decision brought about by a discussion between Addington Raceway and Harness Racing New Zealand, and I fully support it. Having our two greatest 2 mile events, our two greatest races in many people's eyes on the same day, Michael, has enhanced the day. It's obviously attracted the Australians. They probably would have come anyway if it had been on Friday, but I just think having the two races on the same day with both gates is a huge, huge positive.
You are right. You are. I think Friday wasn't working in any regard, and the Dominion is too good a race to leave on a day that wasn't working. So we've retooled that, made it a twilight, made it fast and furious and fun. The 2 slot races, 2 free-for-alls. The other issue was the free-for-all on a Tuesday, which then became a 2,000 metre trot, wasn't a good lead-up to the Dominion, and one was bastardising the other. So I just don't think it worked on many levels. We now have a purist day, which is tomorrow, and we have fun, fast and furious on Friday night. And I think that will work better than what we've dished up for the last 15 years on show day through no fault of the horses or the club, Gregory. It has started to be eroded.
$400,000 Renwick Farms Dominion. A big thank you to Paul and Pauline Renwick for their support. Of course, they bred a Rhoda who will head around to the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. This year's favourite is Just Believe. He was $1.30 yesterday. You might be getting about $1.35 now. Let's have a look at the market for the Dominion this year. We'll check out the field first. And the first runner, of course, will be Artie by the Hill.
Runner number 1 is Artie by the Hill. He'll wear the Sunday Sun colours from the inside draw. Number 2, the champion Australia and 8-time Group 1 winner is Just Believe, this year's hot favourite. Number 3 is Midnight Dash. He's as honest as the day is long. Can he do the business for Team Hope? Gavin Smith reunites with 1 overall from Barrier 4. The second of the Jess Tubbs team. Horse 5 is Mystic Max, the South Bay Trotting Cup winner for Michael Purdon and Blair Orange. The third of the Victorian chances is number 6, RC Phoenix for Chris Svenocio. The Banks Peninsula Trotting Cup winner is Mr. Love number 7. He'll wear the Mon Bay colours, winner of this race in 2006. Number 8 is Kai Valley Hotspur, the 4th Victorian rep. Can he recapture form from Barrier 8? Number 9 is Mighty Logan. He's got a big attitude and a big motor. Number 10 is Love in the Port, a former Rowe Cup winner who will certainly relish the 2 miles for Team Williamson. Number 11 for the Sams, Thornley and Smolensky is I Dream of Jeannie. Number 14, last year's winner, Oscar Bonavina, one of the quickest trotters going around. Number 16, the Young Gun, on a dominant run, bet and win. Can he overcome the draw? Number 17, representing Southland, is Fiery Bandito. He'll start from the unruly 1 position. And the final runner in the Renwick Farms Dominion for the McCormick family is number 18, Maui.
Here's the market. Champion Australian trotter Just Believe heads it up. He is $1.30 out to $1.45, and the rest of them are at double figures. What about the start here, Craig? Where does Just Believe get to? How many of them get in front of him at the beginning, and where does he ultimately settle?
Well, I think he probably settles in the middle half of the field, Matt. He's not quick away. Barrier 2 is probably our only concern on him. It would be the only question mark on Just Believe, because there's a few that can begin nicely from out wide. The likes of Mystic Max, who's very quick away. Love of the Port's probably one of the fastest away, and it's drawn out perfectly out wide to slingshot across them. In between them, you got like Kai Valley Hotspur, Mighty Logan's quite good. The OK beginners, Artie by the Hill, RC Phoenix, because he's lightly raced from a standing start and hard to get a line on.
Well, one man who loves Just Believe is Ryan Phelan, and he's been out catching up with his great mate Harry.
Thanks, Matt. Well, we're here at All Stars Racing. We're at the Aussie All Stars. There is the champ, Harry Just Believe. Here is our other champion, and Greg Sugars. How have you settled in, mate, since you've been here in New Zealand?
Yeah, really well. No, got a lot of friends here who've looked after us really well, and the horses are in great order, so I'm happy.
Tell us about Harry here, nice and early. You were at the Cup Trials. What did you take out of that?
Yeah, look, I was happy with it. We weren't there to sort of set any records. Just wanted to, give him another practice at the stands, which he hasn't done a lot of lately, and just have a nice, economical run through that trial. So it pretty much went to plan.
What about the standing starts? You've only, I think, had him twice under race conditions in standing starts. What can you tell the punters about him and under those conditions?
Yeah, look, he's a very professional horse, but, you know, like inexperienced compared to a lot of his rivals that he's meeting in this race. Yeah, I expect him to begin safely, but don't expect him to be the fastest.
He's a funny horse. We can show him behind here. He's always such a relaxed customer, isn't he, Greg? Is this what you're used to seeing with him when you've travelled him to Sweden? It's all systems go?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, he takes everything in his stride, and you know, every now and again he can get a bit up and about, and you know, he's feeling good. But generally speaking, he's a pretty cool fella.
There he is, Just Believe, Greg Sugars and Jess Tubbs, and one of his victories at Alexandra Park. He comes to Christchurch for the first time, Greg, and isn't it a pleasure to have him here?
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's a pleasure to have Greg Sugars here. He and his wife Jess Tubbs are well known around the world now, mainly through this horse, and he's just a brilliant racehorse. He came to the trials here, Michael, last week and took it all in. He did exactly what Just Believe wanted to do, or what Greg wanted him to do in that trial, and I do have a little bit of trepidation about Barrier 2. There is a fair chance he could get pushed down on the markers. Those fast beginners Craig talked about, Mighty Logan out wide and definitely Lovin' the Port. He could get back of midfield. Can he still win? Absolutely he can, but it might be a little bit more tricky than the $1.30 odd that he opened up at suggested.
I think a lot of multi-punters will want to take him because he is a champion on a day which doesn't have many champions. I spent some time the other day looking at the ways he could get beat, and after about 20 seconds I stopped because it was just a pointless waste of my time. So I think he'll win. I think Bet and Win and Oscar Bonavina will need to move because there's a very long tail to this field, boys, and therefore a lot of them will be going backwards at the 600. And we know he handles travel. He's one horse who's not going to be intimidated by New Zealand Cup Day and the crowds because he's been to Elite Lot Day, which is even noisier. I just think he'll win. And yes, I know you at home don't want to take $1.35, so run him through your multis. The question for me is who runs second? I know Oscar Bonavina can win a Dominion. He won one last year. He might make a Quinella, Gregory, only because Bet and Win's going to try and need to do something different tomorrow from what he's done already this spring.
Two nonchalants together, aren't they? Greg Sugars and Just Believe taking it all on their stride. All right, Whale, Michael's thinking you take your $1.45, you throw it on top of whether it be a Duchess Megxit or a Marketplace during the day. Is it as simple as that for you?
Well, I think he's the best horse in the race. I mean, I had the pleasure of witnessing, like you did at Cambridge Raceway, sitting outside Call Me the Breeze, who I think is a very good trotter, and he was too good for him. I had the pleasure of watching him sit outside Muscle Mountain in a national trot and crunch him in at the top of the lane, beating Oscar Bonavina. He is a true champion in the game. He's a bit like a Sunday Son of Lyle Creek or a Take a Moment, Matt. So $1.35, I think you run him in a trifecta and work around probably 4 or 5 second and third, but he's going to be clear pick for most people. The reason why is because he's won 18 of his last 20 starts from coming back from Sweden.
I think no matter how you look at it, even after a lap, whoever's in front, they're going to be looking for a breather, aren't they? So Greg Sugars pops around, at worst sits parked. How do they beat him?
Well, I think the new kid on the block is probably the only one, Bet and Win, because I know he's drawn the second row, but when he begins, he actually begins quite nicely. It could be a little bit like the Leap to Fame, the Swayzee from last year in the New Zealand Cup. If he can manage to push through and get round them, he's got the advantage of being out wide. If he got in front of Just Believe and then could get the front off a couple of race rivals, he's not without a forlorn chance.
Well, Bet and Win, wouldn't he be a popular result?
Cup Week's huge. Everybody that you talk to knows about Cup Week.
When I moved across here, I started to work for Paul and Graham Court, and that was just at the time when Terry the Love had won the last 3 cups. So as soon as I got here, I realised just how big it is. Especially for the racing participants in Canterbury, it's such an exciting time, and yeah, we're feeling very lucky to be a small part of it. Experience was what brought me to New Zealand. I wasn't planning on being here sort of 10 years later, but obviously I met Stacey, and that sort of changed things a bit, and I just love it over here now. A shy little Australian. He's definitely come out of his shell since he's been here. Yeah. Trotters are very character building, and Bet and Win's certainly been that for us. Initially those first few starts were a little bit tedious, but
we knew he had the ability. It was just sort of getting everything organised, and young trotters can be a bit wayward, we knew that. So we had a bit of experience with them, so we just sort of worked together to nut out those nuts and bolts, I guess.
The way he'd been working at home, we're pretty confident that if he did things right, he'd be very hard to beat. And his first win, you don't see maiden trotters win like he did, really. He moved three wide around the park and run a half in 57 and home in 28 and just did it easy. So that sort of was the first time that we managed to show all the owners that we weren't just, blowing smoke up there, you know what. And we actually had a horse that was pretty exciting. When we decided to send him out to Bob, and he flew up to Auckland, and the way he won that final up in Auckland by 10 lengths, that was sort of when we started making bigger plans than just an average horse.
I feel excited heading towards the Dominion. We're not, on any grand scheme of things, big names in the industry. We're very lucky in the position that we're in. A lot of people would love to have a horse that has the credentials that Bet and Win has, and if you can't get excited about having a horse like him and heading towards a race like the Dominion, then what are you doing it for? It comes with a little bit of nerves, but I think if without nerves you're not probably putting enough pressure on yourself to do a good job. So, excitement's the main one, I think, and then we'll leave the nerves until the day.
Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation. The Dominion's probably the pinnacle trotting race in Australia or New Zealand. So, I just can't wait.
Once we head out onto the track, Bob and the sulky, it's going to be pretty special. If we can have the horse there, have him fit and well and ready to go out and do his best, I think we've got to be proud of ourselves for it. It's not an easy feat to get a horse at this level racing the way he's racing. So hopefully we can maintain it, get him there in one piece, and there'll be a lot of emotions, probably tears.
Good luck to David and Stacey White with Bet and Win their superstar trotter Greg O'Connor. As we come over to you for your thoughts, he just keeps getting better.
He does, Matthew. He's only had the 16 starts and he's won 9 of those. It's a very good horse's record, Michael. I would love him to draw the front row. The second row is going to mean he will need to do something that he hasn't done before at this level. But I have absolutely no doubt that in the years to come, he is going to win some of these big races. I'm just not sure that from where he's drawn tomorrow, that it'll be this year.
Well, he's not a champion yet. He may well end up a champion. He may already be the best trotter in New Zealand. But there is a champion who is more than likely, I take on board your theory that he could get pushed down to the fence, Just Believe, but Greg Sugars is world class. I think he'll be in front with a mile to go. Yes, standing starts are funny things and Bet and Win could get in front of him. It could all happen that way. But we also know that Just Believe can sit parked and win Group 1s. We don't know that about Bet and Win, and he may need to try and do that because of the lack of depth in the field. I think regardless of what happens tomorrow, Greg, we have a very special trotter on our hands. I think if the best version of Just Believe turns up, he'll need to improve 3 or 4 or 5 lengths, Bet and Win, on what he's done so far. Not saying it can't happen.
Is there a possibility, Craig, that the start could work out okay for him?
I think it could. I mean, I just like that he's got 2 unruly horses to his outside. When he actually won that race, people forget 2 weeks ago when he beat Mystic Max, he started off a 10-metre handicap and he drew out wide. So it kind of where he is at the moment, the difference is it was 26 versus 32, and he was in front after 400 metres, Matt. Now, if he could just pierce his way through, get round the outside and make his way to the top end and then hand to, obviously, the champion Just Believe, then we've got a true race on our hands, and we'll get to see where Bet and Win is at the moment. You've got to remember, 16 starts, 9 wins. He's the most lightly tried trotter in the race, but hell, he's got a future.
Well, one horse who has probably still got a bit of a future, but he's done so much thus far as last year's winner, Oscar Bonavina. Greg, as we come over to you for your thoughts around him, would it be fair to say just nothing's gone to plan pattern-wise for him this prep?
He's been off those marks those first couple of runs, and then obviously he just got it slightly wrong in the score up, and as the gate left at Ashburton, they are very pleased with where he's at. He's got the master back in the bike. He looks fantastic, and talking to Nathan on Trot's Talk on Sunday, he said he's never been happier, this horse. He's in a great spot, or in a good frame of mind, is the way he described it, and therefore, with the right race, he's been there and done it, Michael. He can do it again, Oscar Bonavina.
I think he's the bet in the race, not to win, because Just Believe, I think, will win, but he's $1.30, $1.35. I think you can get around $2 a place for Oscar Bonavina. Take Just Believe out of play. Take him out of the race. Is Oscar Bonavina going to run first or second against the rest of these? Absolutely he is, unless he underperforms. Willing to forgive everything this spring at $2, depending where that sits tomorrow morning, but you can always jump on it now. He's a great chance, and a really good fixed odds Quinella, or even exacta, there's a word we don't use very often in New Zealand, with Just Believe to beat Oscar Bonavina, met with no disrespect to Bet and Win. But the theme of the show so far, Greg, is show me you can do it. He's showing us he can.
One of the quickest trotters I've ever seen over 400 metres, Craig. Early positioning will be vital because you probably can't see him working mid-race.
Well, a couple of things, Matt. I mean, he hasn't won a race in 7 months, let's be fair. And a couple of the races he's been a little bit rocky in his gait. He was very rocky at Ashburton off the gate from a mobile. We know his quality. When he's on, he's very, very good. And this is obviously on the big dance. The problem I've got is he's got to get through them and he's got to get a sit, because Oscar's really good when he follows the helmet and he can get home strongly. I'm sure he can run top three. I'm not sure he can win the race if Just Believe got in front of him, Matt, but he's got to be a great trifecta bait and a great place bet top four.
Mystic Max is the next one we're chatting about here, Greg, the South Bay Trotting Cup winner.
Yeah, and he's in fantastic form. The confidence from Michael Purdon after coming to Addington Raceway and having a spin around here. He went to South Bay and he said to me, I'm going to say to Blair Orange, if you find the front, you stay there. He absolutely bolted in here. Yes, this Renwick Farms Dominion has a lot more depth to it, but he's in form and he is a great play for the top 4 or 5.
The best version of Mystic Max is when they work him harder. I think Michael doesn't work him as hard as Dad used to work them, and I think Dad's been down a little bit, so he might have said, mate, work that horse a bit more, or race him a bit more. So he's trotting squarely, which sometimes he doesn't do. I think he's strengthened up across the back, Greg, which enables him to trot more squarely, and it's not a deep field. I think he's a great first 4 bet, as you said, and I wouldn't be surprised if he runs into the money a bit closer to the top.
Is he in 4 for you, Wale?
He's not. I think he's a horse that might be 12 months away, a realistic Dominion Handicap winner. But this is a really quality field. You've got proven Group 1 performers in here. So he's in my trifecta when I'm playing a bet into the race, Matt. And he's probably, what is he, around about $3 a place. Of the rest, maybe a horse like Mighty Logan, I thought had a lot of merit in his run at Kaikoura the other day. What did you make of the run? On a track he probably didn't get round that well, but if you go back to the start before, he was mighty impressive.
Yeah, he's a handful, and by all reports he put on a bit of a rodeo act, which he can do, Mighty Logan. He wears a bucking strap. Big horse. I don't think he was ever going to be happy around Kaikoura. Getting to Addington, he'll just keep going all day. Probably another one who's 12 months away. Fiery Bandito wouldn't surprise me to see him run top 6 or top 8 for Southland, even from the Unruly. He looks a good stayer who's probably only just having the penny drop now. So
we probably didn't give Spoken Bandar the credit that it was due last year, and a kind of Fiery Bandito kind of falls into that category as well, doesn't it, Matt? So for the Southlanders, good luck with Fiery.
All right, Greg, Michael, have we missed anything?
Loving the Port, I think, has to be accorded some sort of chance. I know that Phil hadn't been that happy with his gait, and we've seen that in his last couple of runs, but he's been getting better, Michael. He can step, he can stay. He's been there, done that before in the Rowe Cup. So I think he has a part to play, particularly from that wide front row draw where often horses that are drawn out there get that little bit of momentum with the natural camber of the track and therefore can get in front of those on the inside.
Well, he could be a Lily Crow horse. I don't like horses over 2 miles with his gait, but he has won a Rowe Cup. Admittedly, quite a weak Rowe Cup. I think there's a really long tail to this field, Greg. I'm thrilled to see Maui in there. I love that. I'm thrilled to see Franco Marek in the Cup and Tack McLeod. I love the fact all these horses are in. But for you at home, trying to make money out of this, I reckon both these races have bunches. The bunch who can win and the bunch who you're probably hoping for a fairy tale. And Gregory, fairy tales don't come true very often, last week's Melbourne Cup aside.
Okay. Is there a boil over option, Whale, or are you as simple as Just Believe?
I'm Just Believe trifecta play. I mean, you're not going to take $1.30 for him to win, but I think you can work around him. And I've played him to win. I've put 5, 9, 10, 14, 16 second field.
Is Love in the Port trotting well enough, though? I don't think he's been trotting that good lately.
I actually quite like him for a couple of reasons. I think he's probably the first away from out wide. He's actually $9.50 in the middle market for that horses that are not in the top 3 or 4 favouritisms, but $9.50 if you want to play into him. I reckon he's the best roughie in the race.
Is that yours or Steve Davis's field?
Field.
I thought he was the only man who took a field.
I like a bit of field. It just adds a bit of spice to the day.
5, 9, 10, 14 and 16 there for Craig. Have we got your selections, Greg?
Yeah, hard to go against Just Believe, even though I do have those concerns maybe about where it'll end up. He's still the best horse in the race and he'll probably win. Oscar's the only one I think that can beat him, bet and win. I'd love to see him win for the connections, but I think next year and beyond is going to be right up his alley, and I think Love in the Port has the credentials to finish in the top 4, but I'm sort of with Michael, the top 3 absolutely stand out, and then yeah, it's a pick and a poke from there.
Very much so. I've gone same as you, but Mystic Max to finish 4th. So I've actually gone bet and win to finish 2nd, but I do think Oscar Bonavina, because he's paying so much more, is the better betting option. You could swap those two around. Just Believe should be a good thing. Your multi-anchor for the day, and Mystic Max is in a pretty good place. If you're ever confused about place betting and that sort of stuff, take the favourite out and say to yourself, who would you back to win this race? And you say to yourself, well, would I want to back any of the others to win? Well, no, you wouldn't. So that means in a place market, they probably can't win a place.
Well, Marc Cookson's liking Swayzee in the Cup. What's he got in the Dominion?
Matt, it's hard to look past arguably the best in the world, certainly in the Southern Hemisphere, who's already dazzled us here in this country during the autumn. Just Believe on top for me. Mystic Max, if this horse can get a really good run, can certainly frank the form from Kaikoura, winning back-to-back feature trots at Kaikoura. I think Mystic Max will be a genuine top 3, top 4 chance in the race. And for 3rd, Oscar Bonavina, looking to defend the title. And from the sounds of things, the confidence here at the camp is huge once again for Oscar to run a real cracking race. So putting that horse in for 3rd, and RC Phoenix is going to make my top 4 selection in the Renwick Farms Dominion. Champ Just Believe on top, ahead of Mystic Max, Oscar Bonavina and RC Phoenix. If I was having a play in the race, I'd have a top 4 bet to make a little bit of money on Mystic Max.
Let's see what Ryan and Adam are liking.
Well, Matt, if we were probably leaning a little bit towards the Kiwis in the Trotting Cup, I think we can be a little bit more bullish in the Group 1 Dominion, Adam.
Well, really, he's just got to turn up and bring his A game, which he invariably does, Just Believe. Beautiful draw. He'll probably settle in the first 4 or 5, mooch forward, get the front and control the race. So I'm strongly with Just Believe to win it. I think Bet and Win is the rising star of Australasian trotting at the moment, and the main danger. It's going to be tough from that draw to beat the champ. Oscar Bonavina hit the line really well last start. And then for 4th, I'm going to put in RC Phoenix. He'd need to lift on his Australian form, but the fact he's here means we might see a better showing.
And what's your suggested play in the race?
Yeah, I couldn't find a lot of value. I think the $1.70, $1.80 for Bet and Win to run a place is my go.
Well, I'm with the champ. How could you not be in chasing his 10th Group 1 Just Believe? He's, I guess, primed for these big occasions, and that will be the case on a big cup day like tomorrow. You've got to go with him on top. I'm tipping the stablemate for 2nd, 1 overall.
Wow.
I think his manners and this distance is
$51
right
shot
up his alley, and he's going to be my play in the race, Adam. The place, I think he can put himself into the race and be there at the business end should he get the right run in the race. He's my value. Look, you've got to go Bet and Win in your placings as well. This horse really looks to be a horse on the rise, as you mentioned, and I think Oscar Bonavina will be flashing late. But for me, it's all the champ. Come on, Harry, in the Group 1 Dominion.
Thanks, guys, and thanks for your input on the show here today as well. Well, I've got a couple of things. I reckon Fiery Bandito to run top 6 at about $3.30. I'll put RC Phoenix in the top 4 as well. I think he'll relish the travel that he's had. He's raced hardened against some very good horses. He might not be the best, but if he was 3 or 4 back on the fence, I think he'll keep trucking all day. And for the same race multiplayers, Oscar Bonavina top 4 with Just Believe to win. You're getting about $2, $2.25. And yeah, for the Southlanders, Fiery Bandito, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run in the top 6. We'll have the barrier draws for the Velocity and the Ascent right after this.
I'm excited.
I think Jess is more excited that she's just getting rid of me, let alone anything else.
I just get to pack Greg up with the 4 horses and send him over, so my part of it is easy. It's just in the organisation. All the pressure will be on Greg when it comes to Cup Week.
I've been to the New Zealand Cup a couple of times. It's a sensational day of harness racing. Never competed on the day, so that's going to be new for me, and yeah, something I'm really looking forward to.
These are the moments in the sport that you want to be a part of. They're what everyone's in the sport aspiring to be involved in, and we're so lucky that we've got the horses that can take us there. And yeah, it certainly is a reflective journey to look back and see how far we've come in a relatively short amount of time.
I think it would be a career highlight if we were able to take out a race on New Zealand Cup Day. Yeah, we've been pretty lucky and won some feature races in recent years, but to do it, in another country, travel over to New Zealand, obviously a lot involved to do that and get the horses there. Such a prestigious day of racing, and if we were able to snare a victory with any of our horses during the carnival, would be a career highlight.
Okay, as promised, the Velocity and the Ascent for Friday. Let's start things off with the paces. This is the Velocity. Here are the barrier draws. The big news, Chaser Dream will draw the inside of the second row following out Coastal Babe. Second row also Dreams of Free Harrison John. Front row winners Renegade, horses like He's From Heaven, and the filly has to draw the inside. Greg O'Connor, to you. You've cast your eye over the draw for the Velocity, and the big talking point, I guess, is Chaser Dream inside second row.
Follows out a fast beginner, no doubt about that, with Coastal Babe, and not too many quick beginners outside of her. This is going to be intriguing, Michael. The price also around Chaser Dream, who was $2.10, you would imagine might drift now.
Best thing that could happen to the inaugural running of the race, because had he drawn to Press Through from 2, 3, 4, I think he just wins, and I think he's too good. So, yep, I think it's good for the race. There'll be a lot of tactical chat. We'll get to most of that on Thursday's preview show, Greg. But yes, very intriguing. I'm not so sure the draw for the Trotters race is going to be quite so intriguing, because I don't think it would have mattered, but Kiang Zahara being a filly is, well, this picture paints itself.
Let's get straight to it. Where's she drawn, Kiang Zahara? Here is the answer. She comes up with barrier number 3. Empire City to start from 1 with Princess Sadie. The first of the boys is Father Time with Tyrone Eros Wide, and there is your second row. Greg, Michael may well have already answered the question for us. Is it as simple as game over?
What I saw here in the stables, and when she went out on the track on Saturday, she is a picture to behold. We've seen her form out on the track. She has been nothing but stunning. We knew she was going to draw inside the top 4, Matthew, and obviously the barrier draw has not changed her price at all. What I really like about this, though, is Father Time, who's had a few blood issues and a few challenges for trainer Kevin Townley. They tell me his work during the week and over the weekend, his final hit out was outstanding. Now, he has gate speed. Yes, all 4 of the fillies, Michael, have early speed as well, but they might chance their arm here.
Look, they can. I think for the winning punters, for those chasing a multi-maker for the rest of the week, then this paints itself. You can bet into that now if you like them tomorrow, where there's all those plethora of markets, and the heads-to-heads will open up tomorrow as well. You can just take Kiang Zahara into those. She's here, she's healthy, she's been to Addington. Absolutely no reason to think she'll get beaten, and I don't think she will.
All right, thank you very much for your input today, Michael Guerin, and to you as well, Greg O'Connor. Let's wrap things up with Marc Cookson at the All-Stars barn.
Well, that wraps it up from a pretty busy Rolleston barn ahead of our two great races. So will one or both of the winners of our feature races on IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup Day, the Cup and the Renwick Farms Dominion, come from this particular barn? We're going to find out on Tuesday afternoon.
All right, and we'll wrap things up with our Australians now as well, Ryan Phelan and Adam Hamilton.
Well, across the ditch, us harness fans in Australia always love New Zealand Cup Week, but Adam, this is the most special I think we've ever been able to witness.
Yeah, it is the holy grail of harness racing over here this week, and to have 11 Aussie runners across the 2 days, 9 of them tomorrow at the Cup meeting, is nothing short of sensational, Ryan.
Well, let's hope for a good Tuesday and a terrific Friday as well. Bring on the Aussies in New Zealand Cup Week. We're really looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah, and it's great to have you guys here as well as all of your Australian contingent flying the Aussie flag. Good luck to you over the week. Well, not that you'll need it, but enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we'll do, Matt. Thank you to you for the 90 minutes. To the viewers, good luck tomorrow. It's going to be a special day. We're going to see some very, very good horses.
Okay, between races there will be previews of the remainder of the Group 1s. We look forward to your company on IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup Day out of Addington. From us to you, thank you and happy Cup Week.